All right, welcome to First Descendant's Hotfix 1.1.1. This was released earlier today at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're here to give you details about the patches for First Descendant Hotfix 1.1.1 applied maintenance free on Thursday 9/5. And this applies to all platforms. So, patch details is content improvements for the invasion. Invasion improvement mechanics of the Order of Truth dungeon removes the... Here, let me pause the music real quick. So for the invasion, Order of Truth dungeon removes the arcade pillars that don't display any symbols. So that means we'll have probably 4 arcade pillars instead of like 6 or 7. Improves arcade pillars so they face towards the inside of the battle arena instead of having to walk around it. Simplify the design of the symbols displayed on the arcade pillars and reduce the number of 6 to 4. Yeah, so 6 to 4. That's pretty cool. Fix an issue with the skills would continue to target the tumors of the arcade pillars even after they were destroyed. Improved pillars on the tumors did not regenerate after they are destroyed. So these tumors here, when you would destroy them before, they would reappear, but once you destroy them, they will be gone. Adjust the numbers of hits needed to destroy arcade pillar tumors from 5 to 3. Adjust the movement path of the ancestor drones. Reduce the movement speed of the ancestor drones. Change the direction of the symbols displayed above the ancestor drones to be vertical instead of horizontal. Reduce the number of hits needed to destroy the malignant tumor, blocking the door from 3 to 2. Allowing to be cleared in 1 attempt. That's very nice. Increase the range and fire rate of the inversion energy emitter. Fix an issue where the gate would receive damage if the descendant would hit a gate with a skill while having a module equipped that lowers the skill power. Modifier and also have the invasion energy emitter equipped. Interesting. Also increase melee monster spawn rate. For the Legion of Immortality dungeon, remove the time limit of the artificial brain implants after the first supply. Change the amount of artificial brains that have been supplied to 20. Change the amount of artificial brains the players can hold up to 15 to 10. So now instead of having to do, I think it was 30, they're bringing it down to 20 and 10. So it will be a little bit faster clear for people. Move the location of phase separator veil generator near the computing unit and battles with named monsters. And for the Legion of Darkness dungeon, adjust the arcade tile positions to make it easier to identify them. Reduce the arcade tile occupation time to 3 seconds. Simplify the colors and symbols displayed on the arcade tiles and reduce the number from 6 to 4. So yeah, I did a little testing on my own on these. It's very nice seeing the different tile sets and all that. I would say though, on the barrier itself, they reduced the size smaller, so it's a little bit harder to see. So hopefully they get that fixed in the next patch to make them bigger. I don't know why they shrunk it a little bit on the force field. So it's a little bit smaller than what it was supposed to be. Remove the suicide bombers that would destroy arcade tiles. Reduce the spawn rates of raiders who would reduce the arcade tile occupancy. Change the symbols to stay on the arcade tiles longer than stepping off the central control unit. Add more central control units to allow identifying arcade tiles more easily in some dungeons. So instead of having to stay on one of the plates to identify, sounds like they're going to add multiple depending on how big the room is, which is pretty cool. And overall fixes the difficulty of named monster patterns of invasion dungeons. Reduce the frequency of skills used during immunity. So these are all the different bosses we're here. Reduces the quantity and frequency of guided projectiles during immunity. So they revamped some of the bosses in these ones here. I'm not going to try to pronounce their names, but you can check that out later. Now, here's the improvement to the inversion reinforcement skill tree. This is basically the sort of like the artifact for this season. The main focus was removing the negative modifiers. So right here is a good example. It gives you, before 1.1, the max HP was set at 4.7, And then there was a negative defense of 0.9% up to 3 seconds. And as you can see here, they upped the max HP from 4.7 to 9.5 for 30 seconds and removed the negative defense modifier. And they're just going to go through that. So this is a whole table here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but yeah, pretty much anything that had a negative cost or something like that, they see the explosive attack, no longer explosive attack there. So anything that had negative effects to your Descendant looks like they removed a lot and buffed it. So MP HP from 5.2 now to 7.8. So just getting buffs. So mainly the idea is just to help your Descendant versus making it worse, I guess you say. Shield increase of overwhelming shield have been increased to 26.8 of max HP. So here's the overwhelming shield mod, which is the golden one. Has been increased. HP increase of overwhelming HP increased to 19.8 of max shields. So these mods are getting a buff. So if you have an Ajax or a Glay, you're going to get way more HP. Decreased defense and HP, Pyromaniac. Interesting. So Pyromaniac is getting a nerf intercept. Also decrease HP and shield of the Hummingbirds, which appears in the Executioner in Pyromaniac intercept battles. Okay. Interesting. Kill score of defeating monsters in certain hard mode infiltrations have been increased. Kingston, Magister Lab, Sterile Lens, Unknown Laboratory, the Quarantine Zone. So you can, if you're trying to get a 2x drop or the score, if you were struggling with that, you should have a higher one there. Shorten the time required to interact with objects. That is very nice. Yes. So some bug fixes. We have missions been adjusted to start only after entering the large-scale outpost barricade. I've not really done any outpost since 1.1 had dropped. So we might have to do a little testing to see, but it sounds like for the most part it got fixed. Fix an issue where incorrect text prompts will display when there's nearby makeshift camp locations in different battlefields. Fix an issue with the voltage charge effect of Excava where the amount of max stacks was incorrectly displayed in the next stage of the enhanced unique ability screen. Interesting. Fix an issue with the equipped tier would display text when filtering as junk for Descendants that have designate all tiers before the update. Then run into that issue. For Descendants, fix an issue with the reinforced distance is incorrectly displayed to be seen as affected by skill range related stats skill info of the Haley's Safeguard Strategic Retreats. Fix an abnormal slipping that happened when Haley used the Zenith skill after a sub-attack utilizing grappling hook. For modules, fix an issue with summoning a turret with J-Burst Turret Zone with a module affecting skill range equipped. The turret zone would not expand as much as it would due to the range module. And fix an issue with J-Burst had the turret engineering module equipped. The turret engineering skill could duplicate the turret zones. Okay, so here's the director's comments to this. And based on the community feedback and data, the dev team had analyzed the success rate of the invasion dungeons and adjusted the difficulty of the puzzles in battles against named bosses. Although not yet concluded in the 1.1 update, we are also working on adding matchmaking to the invasion dungeons. Okay, I was wondering about that because I was hoping that we would be able to do some runs with viewers for invasion dungeons, but apparently it's not in this update. Okay, we're committed to improving the features so that you can enjoy invasion dungeons with your party as soon as possible. Okay, so later down the road. We'll also increase the amount of rewards that Haley research materials can obtain in invasion dungeons. In the 1.10b update, we improved the drop rate of Haley research materials as infiltration operation rewards, but based on the community feedback about how difficult the farming is, we adjusted the rewards for clearing invasion dungeons. So now instead of 12, if you're able to do all gold runs, you're now up to 20. Research materials can be provided daily depending on the trophy earns. We hope that the adjustment allows players to farm Haley more easily and enjoy the game. So I did some testing, and when you get gold, you get 5 drops, which is nice. We've improved the efficiency of inversion reinforcement and removed the penalties, additionally stacking the conditions have been reduced so it's easier to trigger. So that's the artifact. This enhancement of inversion reinforcement includes a lot of defense effects, so we hope this will help the Descendants make their builds even more aggressive. On the major changes of the season has been use of the hard mode infiltration operations has seen a significant increase since the season update. The rise in participation stems from increased activity by those farming Haley in the infiltration operations and improved reward efficiency. The dev team hopes that the infiltration operations will become an important farming location. Okay, so it sounds like they're happy with the large population of people running these missions. That's pretty cool. And it's prepped to make adjustments, so some sections will with traps to provide a better gameplay experience. Finally, in the second update, scheduled for October 10th, we plan on introducing infiltration operations on the highest difficulty. Okay, so not hard mode is going to be an extra one. We'll continue to incorporate your feedback to ensure even more engaging and fun battle experiences. Very cool. So yeah, the summary here was just for the invasion side mainly, and then the artifact changes just to sum up. But that's pretty cool that these changes are taking into effect, and hopefully that will help with people's experiences. I'm looking forward to being able to run with people for the invasions once that public option gets available. So that is the Hotfix 1.1.1 update. Thanks for watching.
All right.